So guys, this is an image that I'm doing for someone, and it is a pair of eyes from a lovely lady called Sophie, and she did some shots with me the other day. And I've just chosen this image because I think it's the most natural, and even though she's got makeup on, it's kind of most subtle but also striking shot that we did. Eyes are mega sharp, so this image is going to be printed really quite big. So what I need to do is, because the A7R3 from Sony has so much resolution, the problem is you can see me in the shot there. So the main issue is obviously you can see me. So what I've done is I've got a brush and also a black colour, and I'm just going to paint through and just lose myself completely. Plus a little bit of that white there is going to go. I'm at two minds either to leave that white there or actually just take a little bit of information from the other eyeball on the other side to lose it, so you don't actually have any trouble with lack of colour. But what we are going to do is something a little bit different in a second. You'll see how that plays out. So there we go. So nice and sharp image. I've bleached her skin out because basically what we're going to do is going to be a large poster, and it just wants to be boom, and it's all about the eyes. So what we've done, it was just basically bleached out. So what I've done is dodge tool, quite big. I'm just going to remove that bit there, just run it along, just so you get the nice, just a graduation there a little bit, and then there you go. So it's pretty straightforward. Even highlights, we can literally just brush it. That's probably going a bit too far actually. You can do that, but we're going to leave it as is. So first thing is I'm going to do a new layer, because what I want to do is I'm actually going to make the irises of the eyes black and white. So the easiest thing we're going to do there is, there's lots of ways of working Photoshop, and there's many different techniques and things like that. But what I need to do is get it into, I'm just going to open it, even though it's obviously not raw, but there we go. So we're going to open it in raw again. So the original layer is below. What I'm actually going to do is crank up the clarity there, and ignore all of this, the eyes and everything like that. So just the irises we're looking at. And what we're going to do is we're going to go black and white. As an image, that does actually look quite cool because it's proper striking. It works really quite nicely. And then what we're going to do is we are going to do another duplicate layer from the original, drag it above, and then we're back to normal. And then what we'll do is get the eraser tool, we'll zoom into each eye. Like I say, there's going to be other ways of doing this, but I find this is the most simple. And what I'm doing is actually rubbing the colour out of her eye. You can see the reflections of her eyelashes in the iris. There you go. So what I don't want is any colour in there. You'll see why shortly. Like so. And then we'll go to this one. So all I'm doing is the eraser tool, I'm rubbing through the top colour layer now, but because in the middle layer, as you can see, that one there, background copy, is actually the black and white file, which I might actually keep once I've messed around with this. Like I say, there is different ways of doing things like this, but for me it works quite nicely. There we go. So we've done that bit. So what we've got there is two eyes. In fact, they actually look quite cool. It's almost like ghostly. But what I actually want is I want the detail to show. through there. So what we're going to do next is actually bring some colour into the image. Right. So bring another layer in. And what it is this is the image for Millbrook Design and Print. So, but what I want actually is their logo there, you see. And what we're going to do is we're going to put it over the eye and actually put it into the iris so you can actually see her eye. It still looks like an eye, but it's actually got all the colours of the RGB scale on their logo. So basically it's going to be two irises that are like eyes but with this colour through it. So it should be lovely and punchy, and should look quite cool. What we're actually going to do, we're going to actually get rid of that. I'm actually going to open it first as a new image, because I don't want any of this. So we just go to Eraser Tool and Magic Eraser Tool and just click, click, done. And then what we're going to do is just going to basically grab it out like so. There we copy, and we'll just start a new. Actually, no, over our copy. Turn that off. Get rid of that. There we go. So, what the next bit of sort of information? Well, what we're going to need to do is actually increase the canvas a little bit. Move that down. Okay, height. Go back 23 or something. There we go. So give it more playroom. What I need to do now is I need to basically make this more of a circle. So what I've actually decided to do is go into Liquify and just basically bring in, using the pucker tool, and I'm basically just stretching that colour in to the centre approximately. And this is going to be transparent anyway, so you'll see more detail of the eyes as well as the colour. Basically it's going to give me a bit more to play with. You know, kind of thing. So that could work quite well. It's just a case of this is how we go. What we got here? So yeah, let's do that for now. So that's what that's given us. Right, so with some messing about, I've managed to get the logo sort of colour range quite roundish, and I've made it big enough to sort of leave a little bit of iris, the black bit in the middle, so the centre of the iris. But as you can see, we can still keep the detail there. So the simplest thing to do now is get the eraser tool, zoom in on the eye. Basically, it's going to tidy it up. So we're just going to rub away what we don't want colour. So the eyelash area and the edge of the iris. So we may have to drop it down. It's a difficult one, really difficult one to get it right. I might have to reshape this in a minute just to get it perfect, because you can see here, and this area here, I'm rubbing away a little bit. If we just drop down the opacity a second, we can actually see where we don't want the colour so much. Obviously your eyes aren't round, so it's very difficult to get it 100% correct all the time. So we come away. Actually, that doesn't look too bad. We're just going to bring it down a little bit. So you can see where we started with just a basic plain, background there. So what we're going to do is now we're going to use we're going to use that. We're just going to highlight the whole eye area, shall we say? and then right click, go free transform, and then we're going to go to the warp tool. I'm just going to pull some colour down, just a little bit out further because I need a little bit more help. Just out there where the eye meets, and then we can just rub it out and carry on. So there we go. What I need to do now is just carry on tidying up and just rub off some of the bits we don't actually need. So through here. There we go. So doesn't look too bad. Doesn't look too bad. So we're going to the next layer. You could just copy and paste this, and it's a case of, at the moment, I'm just going to have a look and see exactly what this does. So you go normal. I've decided vivid light. So you go. So it looks pretty good. The other option is, if I highlight this, in fact I might do this actually. So if I remove that layer there, just copy it. Is it logo I'll copy? Duplicate layer, there we go. So we're just going to copy that layer, and what we're going to do is just rectangle around it and free transform. Was that actually no? Oh, I know why. It's because we've overlaid different colours, haven't we, which have caused different colours. So we're going to drop that over here now. As you can see, it doesn't quite fit because it's all very slightly different. But it's a case of, do we have the colours matching both ways? So as it's there we go. So let's go to free transform again. Like I say, there's many ways of working Photoshop, and it's a way you learn yourself to make it suit your needs. So it's a case of, is it going to work for you the way you have taught yourself some techniques? So some of the techniques work really well for yourself, and they might not work for someone else. There's other things as well, like how fast is your computer? Will your computer deal with everything? So that is the iris. Actually, we're pretty much covered on it. So that's the iris there. There's a little bit of shadow underneath the iris. So maybe we can bring it right up to crazy punchy, or actually bring it down. I was thinking, what's that one? That's 45. So maybe we should go 50. Just a bit of extra punch. So bring that one up to 50. There we go. So it matches. So just what I'm going to do is just going to rub through down here a little bit just to tidy it up and just soften the edges very slightly. There you go. But as an image, it does look quite cool. It's just a case of now working out 100% what's what. So yeah, it's just a case of just messing around with it a bit more and making sure we're really happy with it. Most important thing is the eyes are super sharp, which they are. Just got maybe tidy up some of the makeup slightly, maybe increase a little bit of sort of the burn in the actual skin around here, so just give this a bit more of a bit more darkness, just a bit more sort of richness. Also the eyebrows, just give it a bit more darkness. And all I'm doing is burning into that. Same with the eyelashes there; they've come out, and it works quite well. So it's quite a simple thing to do. We've started with one eye, and then flipped it and then made it bigger. So that is actually, in reality, what's the? We can work out the size here. So that is pixels. So we have got a theory. So 14,173 times by 4497 is a big number. Where is it? Let's do this. So 14.173 times 4. So approximately a 63, 64 megapixel image. So it's a good size. It's going to be printed around about 10 feet wide, I think, or thereabouts, maybe slightly less. But at the highest quality we can do. So it's kind of cool. I haven't done much to it in the editing side of things, as in the eye or anything. It's literally straight out the camera. Apart from what you've just seen me do, is all I've done to it. So where we've taken away the skin, you know, a little bit, left a little bit of the detail there, just to make it feel like you're still looking at a person. But it's about the eyes. That is all we wanted. So, you know, hopefully that'd be enough. The only thing we can do is maybe we just go to the raw side of things. I tend to use the raw side of things just a bit more because I find it's easier to. So we're just going to light it up slightly. Maybe something like that. So 0.65. Let's leave that at 0. So plus 6.5 on the exposure. Just makes it a little bit brighter. So. Plus 6.5. There you go. So just a little bit brighter. It may make a difference in printing. I mean, obviously we've got full control. We can adjust everything up and down, and go from there. But hopefully that might be the way forward on the print. So we shall see. It's depending on how it gets cropped and things like that. We may add a bit more background to it and things like that. We don't know. But that is the basic shot anyway. And so yeah.